So the film is set up in USA. It's Alabama, and in Alabama we find there are two rogues, two thieves. One Sam and the other is Bill. And they're always planning to, do something which is not right. They don't have much money. They are middle-aged men who have not worked well in their lives, who have not, like, remember Soapy? He had opportunities when he was young, but he never utilized. So obviously poverty was going to rule over him. Similarly here, these two men, Sam and Bill, were lacking in money, and they had a lot of big dreams. So they wanted to buy a plot in Illinois, and they wanted to do it through an illegal way. How? So much of money, how would it come to them? So they found out, did some homework, and came to know that there was this man called Ebenezer, who was the richest man in that area called Summit. And that person had a 10-year-old child, and they planned that they're going to kidnap his son and then ask for a ransom. So they go and plan everything. They, find out a forest kind of a thing where they have a little cave, and they keep all their belongings there, and they plan out the kidnap very, very well, so it's not foiled. So they go near that Ebenezer's house, and they find this little child playing outside. He was trying to play up with a cat, and a very bold child. He was wearing this 2 feathers and a band, and they kind of, they wanted him to get lured, so they offered him some chocolates and candies, and he was not bothered. He didn't want them. So he gave he didn't want them, and he took some one pebble, and he hit that pebble, and Bill was injured, and they realized that this boy is a devil. So they finally had to, take him, and so they picked him up, picked him up, and he gave a tough fight. The boy gave a tough fight. He didn't want to go. So he gave a tough fight, and he was behaving like a brave man, like a chief. A chief is a leader. So they finally get him to the cave, and he's like, he says, which is this place? So they say, this is where you'll now stay with us, and dare you play up, and if you play up, we are going to send you back home. So he said, okay. He didn't know what to do. He doesn't know what's happening there. So he takes one knife, and he sits on Bill's chest, and he's acting as if he's trying to kill him. He's the chief, and he says, I am the chief, and I'm going to order you to do this and do that. He feels very nice and elated. He's come to a place where he's playing, and he's come to a place where he doesn't have to study. He doesn't even know that these 2 people are kidnappers, because basically these 2 people were very loving. They were nice people. They were not criminals. They just wanted money to buy a plot, petty larceny, just for something just for little gain, you go off to commit a mistake, not a crime, but a mistake. So then they are very frustrated with his naughtiness and his devilish attitude, and he's running, he's breaking things, and he is he's so bold, he's not even scared of them, okay? And then he takes a rock and he hits, and then there is a situation, where Sam and Bill has been really, victimized. Bill has put some water to boil, and this little fellow plays up big time, and Bill is so scared that he falls. His head goes into that boiling water. So Sam picks him up and puts that head under half an hour under cold water to rescue him. And then they realize, oh my God, what a mistake to have kidnapped this child. So they realize that they have to write a letter to the father immediately to get the ransom. So they write a letter to the father immediately, and they mail it, and they say that your son is with us, and you have to pay so much, $2,500, and then you can take your son back. And please let us know through a reply. And there was a place, where there were 3 trees lined up, and they said at the end of that third tree there'll be a box opposite kept. So you just put that chit there and respond to us. Send a messenger and respond to us. So after posting this, after posting this, on the next day, they sat near this Sam. Particularly Sam, he got up onto that 3rd tree. Picturize, very funny. His stories are very funny, with an undercurrent of sorrow. undercurrent of a serious message. So he goes up onto that tree, the third tree, and he's sitting on the third tree, and he found this messenger coming. He puts it on into that box, something, and when the messenger leaves, he jumps from the tree, and he opens that chit, and he sees that the father has written very calmly that you can keep my son, and if you don't want to keep him because he's very troublesome, you can get him back and pay us $200, $250. That won't be much, right? No, just a meager amount of $250. That unless you pay this, I'm not going to take back my son. So whatever they tried to do, it was like all gone, flop show, like Sophia. So they went back home, and then went to that cave, not home, and they were so troubled by this child. Entire day the child would trouble them, and these two were not criminals. If they were criminals, they would have killed the child, but they had a heart and they wouldn't kill the child. So they thought, what to do? So Bill was so troubled. He said, can we go and return him? I do have, they had $600 with them. Oh my God, I don't mind giving $250 or something like that. Give it to the father. So they go next morning and they meet the father, and they give him that money, count and give him that money and give back the son. And the son is not wanting to be with the father because he knows that he has to go to school, he has to do his homework. So he's very fond of troubling Bill. So he clings on to Bill's leg, and Bill is super frustrated. Okay. So, and he's so strong. He's a little child, but he's very strong, brave boy. And the father is pulling the child. And then Bill looks at the father and says, you have such an imp of a child. Is he really human? He's a devil. How long can you hold your child with so much of force and strength? How long? After how long will you let go of your child? So the father said, only for 10 minutes I can hold on to my child, because after that my strength will give in. So it's a very comical scene where, Bill says, oh my God, in this 10 minutes I have to run, and run so fast that I'm out from USA, probably to the borders of Canada. And he runs because he doesn't want this child anymore. And Sam follows after Bill, okay? And so their entire plan is all gone, and they did not get any money. And again, O. Henry's message, that if they had worked hard, they probably would have built a house or taken a property, but they did not. And also another message, that they were petty thieves, not very harmful, good human beings, did not conduct themselves well in life. Okay, so let's begin our lecture now formally. Look at the presentation about O. Henry. You're just going to read now and understand and connect that how beautiful and how wonderful this author is, who's reaching out to us with a lot of beautiful messages to reform our life.